Welcome back to the show. We end the show with the same note we started it on: photography. The Circle Art Agency recently hosted its first photographic exhibition with a different light. Frontiers of the Present talks about approaching photography with a different dimension to it. Let's see if they do indeed have some new lessons for photographers. Take a look.
My name is James Muriuki. I make art myself, but I also do put together art exhibitions. That's just part of my life. There's many other things that I do, but I choose to use art as my medium of expression and my medium of engaging society. Through my schooling, I knew I was going to be interested in working within the arts and engaging the arts as a subject of engaging my space, my environment, my society. So when I was in primary school, I really loved the art and craft. That was the subject then. And high school, also I studied design. Post high school in uni, Strathmore, I was studying programming, but I ended up looking at imagery a lot and photography a lot. And then when I was also at the University of Nairobi, I was studying design. So it's always been sort of something that I engaged through in my schooling and outside of schooling. Frontiers of the Present is an exhibition that is purely focusing on photography. And, the context of that, the background of that was, this gallery has been there for a couple of years now, and it has always been showing different forms of art. But it's necessary to recognize photography as a medium of art like many other mediums, of expression. I was chatting in the circle for a long time about the possibility of having an exhibition that is focused on photography. So I went looking for photography that is pushing borders of what the imagination of photography is, or what people working in photography imagine they can do with the medium. So some of these guys have worked in fashion, they've worked in documentary, reportage. Some of them are filmmakers, some of them are painters. But the way they engage photography is in a way that is trying to push ideas around photography rather than focusing on very popular kind of work. Then, how much can you push the idea of photography? So I thought to follow that as an idea and sort of approached quite a few photographers and other people and selected works that in themselves are selections from big sort of groupings of work. The infrastructure of creating photography has not been presented in these kind of formal spaces a lot. This agency that runs this gallery was set up to push or hoist the idea of art as part of society, part of intellectual practice in our society. And within that, they have hoped to present art in general to the audiences of Kenya and collectors of Kenya as something that is of our national conscience. So within that, we thought it's necessary to say, look, yes, there's many forms of art. Can we also introduce photography as another form of art? So there's that as a reason to say, look, photography is also a medium of art, and let's present that to our audiences in Kenya and collectors and start building that as an idea that people should look at and recognize as a medium that is necessary for this society. I may have something I want to talk about in society, maybe critique society, critique myself, critique my religion, critique anything. There's many ways to do that. So photography is one of the ways to do it. But if it's not the strongest medium you can use, you can venture into other mediums. You can write about it. You can make music about it. You can make a play about it. You can perform on the streets about it or wherever that you want to perform. So, just look at the medium that works for you. If you have to make so many mediums, even the better. But it's necessary to question, your space, your environment. Question also yourself. What is it that you're doing? Are you just a consumer of things that other people have come up with?
I am a photographer, and most of the time I freelance photography. My work revolves around street photography and documentary work. So it's pretty much anything from, someone will be working on the streets, commissioned work, or just my own personal work. I'm very young in the industry in terms of this space. So sharing it with people who've been there or people whose work I admire is, for me, has been the highlight, I would say.
In school, they teach things like the rules of art, things like composition and the rule of thirds. Those are things that people have developed over time, looking at images or forms or compositions that work and try to define why is it that these images work or these ideas work. And they come up with these formulas. Those are great, and it's necessary to be aware of those. But, if you have to go beyond that, then you have to be aware of them, try with them, and see what are the faults or what are the gaps some of these rules create.